Sweating a little bit. I love you too. Thank you. I want to first thank God for His grace and mercy for allowing me to be here tonight. It is truly an honor. I'd like to thank the Naismith Hall of Fame. I'd like to thank Jerry Colangelo and basketball fans over the world for this wonderful honor. This award for me is not just about a game, a series, or a season. This represents to me the culmination of perseverance, excellence, and consistency. That's why I want to take time and thank those that God put in my life to help me get here. First, my parents, Mom and Daddy, I love you so much. I'm just going to keep it short. You showed me how to love. You prepared and you protected me. Dad, I watched you come home every day from the factory, the GM. Never crying about the what-ifs, never crying about anything. Taking care of our family, you showed me how to be a man. I thank you and I love you. Mom is the oldest of your 5 children. I remember at a young age you explaining to me what teamwork and responsibility meant. Because my responsibility was a big one at the time. As the oldest of 5, I had to watch the kids and explain to them that even if it was just cooking, they had to shut up and be quiet because Mommy, even though you had 2 jobs, was working on another job, something called a master's. And I remember you being at home, babysitting, typing because you didn't have enough to pay. And I remember getting it done. That's work ethic. I love you. To my brothers, Jeff, Jason, David, my sister Rachel, I love you guys, my nieces and nephew, Noble, Jordan, Colton, Casey, Laisha. To Detroit, what up, though? What up, though? To my, what up, though? Ashley, I love you. Charlene, your nephew, thanks you for everything that you've done for him. Pastor London Wood, Donella Damon, Uncle Leroy Paul, Auntie Maddie Rochelle, and sweet Mickey, thank you. And to my lady, my baby Erica, my twins, I love you. Thank you for being a wonderful mother to our children. I'd like to tell all of you a story about a lady named Mrs. Stearns. Some may know I have an African American history collection, and sometimes I take them to schools and I speak about the stories behind the faces. Well, Mrs. Stearns for me was a catalyst for my love for history. The first time I fell in love with sports was in her history class. She sparked my love for the history, hypocrisy, the reverence, the absolute power of sport. As class would wind down before class and recess, Ms. Stearns would wow us with stories from the past. We would beg her to tell us more about the greatest players to ever play. And looking back, she took advantage of it by putting that information that we shared up on test, and we'd even celebrate during Black History Month. She spoke of traveling all-star teams and music and food. She told me that we were blessed, that there was a time when even if we had the obvious talent to compete, there was a gentleman's agreement among the owners that effectively banned blacks from the NBA, NFL, or MLB. She would whisper nightmares about the Klan chasing teams from city to city or recount how it tore at men from the inside, not being able to do what they loved. She encouraged us to know our history. She wanted us to familiarize ourselves with some man named Jackie Robinson. She was proud of this man. She spoke of him with certainty and conviction, and one day after class, she asked me to stay after. I was worried. I thought I was in trouble, and thankfully that wasn't the case. She spoke kindly and softly and said, I know you get teased a lot, but I see something in you. Everyone does. You have to be like Jackie. You have to be strong. You got to pray, and don't let people get to you. They're going to try to get to you. He was special, and you are too. I didn't know why she told me all this. I didn't even play sports at the time. Then later, at the end of our discussion that day, Ms. Stearns pulled out a small picture box and opened it. And she showed me a picture inside and explained to me that the man wearing a baseball hat in the photo, his name was Turkey Stearns. Turkey Stearns was her late husband. He started playing baseball professionally in 1920, retired in 1942. He played for the Detroit Stars and ended up with the Kansas City Monarchs. He's considered one of the greatest baseball players of all time. He batted over 400 3 times, led the Negro Leagues in home runs 7 times. He has 50 more home runs as the #1 hitter than whoever's in second place. To supplement his income, he worked summers in a factory owned by Walter Briggs, owner of the Detroit Tigers, a team that didn't employ blacks. Now, I know this seems like a down or a baseball story, but to me, this is just an example of God's grace in my life. You see, I was being filled with energy of those that had been in the struggle, not just from family and friends, but those in my village. Mrs. Stearns saw something in me before I saw it in myself. Her presence and expectations of my life's potential have stayed with me since our conversation in class that day. Not as a burden, but as validation, holding me to a standard. So how could I move forward after having people like that in my life and hearing first-hand accounts of dreams deferred to the past? How could I not think that I must pay it forward or honor those that have paid the way? And so tonight, just a few miles from Boston, how could I not thank the great Bill Russell, Red Auerbach? How could I not thank others? Yes, please clap for them. How could I not thank Spencer Haywood or Dr. Harry Edwards, Dr. John Carlos, or the Big O, and many other trailblazers that gave of themselves for us in the next generation. I'd like to thank Temple Christian, my coaches, my teammates there. I'd also like to thank Curtis Hervey, my AAU coach. Harv, the way I approached the game with preparation and toughness, that was you. Mr. Mont, you know I love you. Yapo, Kevin, Josh Colby, Antonio Ragland, Mike Jackson, Omar Wetlow, I love you guys as well. To the greatest high school coach in Michigan history, my coach, Coach Keenan. Thank you for being such a great coach, and Nidra, I thank you for having us back and having our back with all the food, the barbecues, and the honey buns. To the Honorable Dennis Archer and Trudy Archer, thank you for your support and your love and kindness. You helped my transition in high school. I'd like to tell you a story about Isaiah Thomas. He was my guardian angel. Only a few family and friends knew this, but my brothers and I were big fans of Isaiah. We would do everything that Isaiah did. I would even, after I got to the league, say, "Hi, Mom," after every interview because he did it. Now you have to flash back. I'm 16 years old, and Zeke calls our house to speak to my parents and ask if he could come over and speak with us. He came over to our little shack on Biltmore, shout out 6 Mile, Evergreen, Finkel, Puritan. He came to the hood because I told him he was coming through. Everyone came out and bothered him. He was just cool, patient, and gracious. After speaking to my parents, Isaiah took me aside. You talked, you were kind. You said you understood what I was going through. You told me don't worry. You explained if I needed anything, you'd be there. Financially, mentally, spiritually. You explained that it's about the long run and I had to stay focused. You told me don't start believing the press. You told me keep doing my thing because we are more than hoopers. Zeke, I remember like it was yesterday. You said we. You gave me confidence. You validated my game through setting your expectation. And finally, you protected me from the vultures. You protected me from the vultures. That's why I never had to take a penny from anyone. You found me. You took time out of your life. You took pressure off of me and you planted a seed. And I've helped so many kids only because of your generosity and what you've shown me. Thank you, Isaiah. I love you. To the student body, the alumni, and the faculty and the staff at the University of Michigan, I flat out love you. It was my pleasure to don the number 4 jersey of the maize and blue. I loved every moment at the University of Michigan with my teammates, my brothers. First, I'd like to thank Coach Steve Fisher and his wife, Angie. Coach, your calm approach, Fisher, thank you. Coach, your calm approach, focus, and deliberate ways and intense practices allowed us to be ourselves. We could stick to instructions and just let it all hang out. Juwan Howard, Ray Jackson, Jalen Rose, Jimmy King, I love you. All of my former teammates at Michigan, I love you. I can't believe what we accomplished. I'm proud. I'm always asked, what do I think of the Fab Five? And very honestly, I know it was a wild ride, but I stole an email from a friend of mine, Peter Gilbert. I snuck an email, and I'd just like to read to the fellas what he wrote, and I can't believe he got it. The Fab Five is one of the iconic stories of modern day sports history. 5 young black men who changed the fabric and culture of sport in American society. 5 men that changed the game of basketball. Fab Five had a brash audacity in everything they did. They played basketball like a house on fire. It was joyful. The Fab Five were not puppets of the system. They played their game. They played as though they knew deep inside that they represented a new day ahead. Basketball was not just a game, but a statement. And when we played ball, you saw our lives played out on the court. Each one of them represented their families, mentors, and community. Basketball was a culmination of their unique individual upbringing. They were a movement whether they knew it or not. There were love letters and death threats. They were embraced by many, vilified and hated by more. They played as though they knew deep inside that they represented a new day ahead. Guys, I still see vestiges of our game, and I'm just so proud of what we've done. I thank the University of Michigan, I thank the fans, I thank the students, and I love being part of this family. When I got to the NBA, it was just a great community, and as a rookie, I had so many people to help me. I'd like to thank the late David Stearns for all he's done for the game. I'd like to thank Commissioner Adam Silver, but anyone who knows the NBA intimately knows that we are a league of men, but we have some boss women running things around here. So I'd really like to thank Leah Wilcox and Krista Chan. I love me some Leah Wilcox and Krista Chan. I'd also like to thank Falashar Irwin, Bill Strickland, and Reverend Earl Smith. I'd like to thank the fans of Golden State, Mully, Spree, and Billy O. I'd like to thank the city of D.C., Chocolate City. You see, I played for a lot of teams. My teammates, Ben Wallace, Strickland, Stricknine, Jawan, Legs, T. Murray, Murasan, Witt, Cheney, and D. Ham. Buzz Brayman, I thank you for helping me get that jumper nice. It's because of you I can stand here. And now to the best fans in the world, to the Sacramento Kings. I just want to talk a little bit about God's grace. I want to talk about the fact that God has to lead you, and you're not always supposed to know where you're going or how good it's going to be when you come out on the other side. It's just about trusting Him, trusting God, trusting the process. Sacramento, my faith will forever be strong because God gave me you. Jay Will, what's up, baby? Vlade, Peja, Bibby, Bobby Jack, Doug Christie, Sign Lady, Jeff Petrie, Coach Adelman. Thank you for just bringing that style to our game. Erica Bjork, thank you for allowing my charities to do so well and to work with the communities. And thank you for keeping me connected to the Sacramento community. Thank the Philadelphia 76ers. AI, you were the best player I ever played with, and then it was an honor to rock with you every day on the court. And I'll just skip and say finally, the Pistons and Joe D, Chauncey, Rip, it was an honor to be able to play in my city with you guys. Thank you. To my man, Charles Barkley, I'm honored to have you welcome me into the Hall of Fame. You changed the way the game was played from a power forward position. Personally, you've shown me the way in life more than once. The first time was high school. Rick Mahorn brought you by and I got a chance to meet you. I studied your game, I knew your truth, I knew your attitude, and you complimented me and encouraged me. And for the first time after seeing you, I thought, hey, maybe I could do this if my favorite player said I can. The second time, I just want to thank you on behalf of all athletes for what you've done with life after basketball. I've never left basketball, and I've been a part of the NBA for close to 30 years between playing and commentating. The reason I've had such longevity is because of you. You wrote the playbook. Be honest, be yourself, and whatever happens, happens. Charles, I know others opened the door for you as far as athletes and commentators, but personally, Charles, everything changed with you. So on behalf of any athlete on TV today that gets to share their opinion based on their experience, I want to give you your flowers and say thank you. You've made millions for many. Thank you. I'll be quick. And speaking of commentating, the journey after life, I'd like to thank Marv Albert, my partner on air for the last several years. You were a joy to work with. I learned so much from you. Our discussions on basketball were some of the best. Dick Stockton, Reggie Miller, thank you for showing me how to prepare for games. Steve Kerr, Kevin Harlan, and the many producers, directors, and PAs that work with me. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank my business partners, Lavetta Willis, Jason Weil. You guys, we've done some big things, and to follow in the footsteps of those like Magic Johnson and Dave Bing, Isaiah, Vinnie Johnson, and Junior Bridgman is an aspiration. And thank you guys for setting the bar and taking your game out of the league, but excelling in business as well. And lastly, it would be unfair if I didn't talk, or it wouldn't be right. I'd be remiss if I didn't get to talk about moments that raised you. I talked about all the wonderful people that helped put into my life. And again, Kevin, Yapo, Adrian, Vince, if I missed anyone else in high school, I'm sorry. But there are moments that raise you as well. Moments when you have to stand alone, moments when you can't cop out, moments when all you can do is stand, moments when you question everything. There's no guarantee in winning. Sports is the most fair platform because it's unfair to everyone. I know a little bit about that, but it's all about the commitment. It's all about the moments when people doubt you. Wins aren't guaranteed, but losses are. And I'm just here to tell you, no matter who you are, champion like Kevin Garnett or Isaiah or Paul Pierce, Ben Wallace, or a guy like myself that just went through the league and did my thing, you're gonna have to bounce back. And I would hope for many athletes that you do take mental health very seriously and you get help. But also, I would like to tell others, thank you. But also I'd like to tell others that hopefully you can embrace sport. Embrace the fact that there's no guarantee. And face the fact that that's why we get to work early and leave late. Embrace the fact that I'm still the same dude that had to go up against KG, Tim, Shaq, Akeem, all these guys in a week. Just embrace the journey, embrace it, embrace it, embrace it. Do not run from it. And if anybody ever wants to know how I feel, there's a song by Marvin Sapp. It goes, I never should have made it. I never would have made it without you. I would have lost it all. But now I see you were there for me. And I can say, I'm stronger, I'm wiser, I'm better, I'm so much better. When I look back at all you brought me through, I can see now that you were the one I held on to. Thank you very much.
Raspo Beats.